all, good morning, everyone. Uh, you all know, I think Thursday onwards, I was in touch with sir and I called respected sir for taking his permission. But at one go, he said I'm available without knowing much detail about me. Of course, I gave the reference of the Prema ma'am, and sir said yes, definitely I will be available. Now with this, I think I I will not take a long time because this sir is a very eminent personality. I just to say something extraordinary thing because the person itself down to the earth. I had attended his previous session with Arpit, another session, and always he talks with the rooted. When you'll experience sir's talk, you will come to know rooted things are there with sir. So to know more about sir, I would like our respected principal ma'am to take a baton hands onwards. Yeah, ma'am, over to you.
So thank you so much, and happy morning to all of the people who are in this family, WoodLem family. It's my extreme pleasure and joy, and I'm so pleased and honored to welcome DrTPS for this beautiful session of learning today. I'm sure I have, in the sessions that I have had, it was, I think DrTPS is one of the best speakers I have heard so far. I personally, when I say, the 36-odd journey, yours was given me a wonderful opportunity to explore many great platforms and be invited also, and I was very fortunate and God sent that we both shared a very prestigious platform very recently, and there started our journey of friendship. And then, of course, as you all know me very well, I always love to share, and when I got a person whose motto itself, the very purpose of life itself is sharing, then I said, no way, there's no looking back. Let me now start and give my teachers a chance to experience that magic. Talking about DrTPS, as he is fondly called, is a space scientist. He's a life mentor, a thought leader. He's a writer. He's a public speaker. He's an educationalist in its finest form. He's, of course, a teacher, 100%. You can see it when he speaks. He's a management consultant. And what we all need and what we don't have, which we should take from him, he's a meditation master. So that the need to be calm when your emotions are imbalanced, I think he's the right person. And of course, a psychotherapist. And also, he is a student of Indian heritage. When I say putting all of this together, I can say he's truly a legend. And when I say he is a legend and he has inspired several lives, including me, I hope that today's interaction you will also feel the same at the end of the session. And from my very first introduction itself, I think the two of us traversed the journey of having similar thoughts. And I thought he was very informative, very knowledgeable. He's an encyclopedia on his own. And that is when, I said that he has to actually, come and you have to hear him. Now, when you talk about him, I think this whole hour is not enough. I mean, you want to call him as he was the deputy director. These are all his former positions. I don't want to, say it again and again. It's available. It's given to you. I gave it to you personally. We posted it because to know the magnitude at which he is now is very important. And his contributions to education itself is tremendous. And he is a deputy. If you look at his portfolios that he had. Deep, just a second. Can I just take my Word document so I can say it properly? Can you just stop sharing this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So then it's easier for me to read. So he was a deputy director and a cabinet secretary at Government of India, New Delhi. He was the director of UGCAC. He is also a scientist. I will still say he is a scientist, although he worked for them. The scientist, the research in him is still very young and bubbling. He was a scientist of SAC, ISRO. He's also a professor, HOD management. He's an executive director of the engineering college. Now, if you look at the journey that he has come from. He started even working with a corporate social responsible positions in various parts of India and abroad, and also hailing from the same place that we are all from. I think it's my honor and privilege to welcome him. Currently, he is the chairman of Shiksha Jana, and I think is continuing and unrelentlessly supporting learning in all its facets, especially in empowering the youth to brave the challenges with a smile. What fascinated me when I wanted to know more about this great school, I actually went to see, I wanted to understand what this beautiful school is all about, and the vision. I think the vision is what actually charmed me. The vision is what actually influenced me. It is to complete triple responsibility. Now, when we say triple responsibilities, responsibility towards family, which is very important. We often neglect it, right? Which is Pitru Runam. Society and environment, Deva Runam. And preservation and transmission of knowledge, Acharya Runam. I think these three words thumbs up how great and how wonderful and how lucky and blessed we are to have him. He is going to talk to us on this beautiful topic, great teachers navigate practical learning. And he will also share some small, his thoughts and his way forward touching the national education policy too, so that we have better understanding. Without taking a single second more, I welcome you, DrTPS, to this beautiful family, and hope and wish that you will stay with us for the rest of our journey too. Your guidance is important, and we are blessed to have you. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Namaskaram to Premaji from WoodLem Park School, Ajman. I remember in 2015 Vishu I was in Ajman.
Oh.
And maybe then the Indian social center, that biggest hall in UAE probably, where I had my iftar in 2016, I think, yeah. The inaugural first program I was one of the participants there. I was looking at WoodLem when I met Premaji on the educational platform where we shared, and the interest she had shown. Though I was in Sharjah last year for a 3-day workshop for children. I had few children, which was organized by the Indian Association there. I remember the Sharjah principal also came and met me. He was also part of the conference. Some reference from somewhere is what made me to be part of it. And we were supposed to have this in August. I think that same day Arpit made a program so that the gap is filled. We had a dialogue. So it's almost 100 days after that. Yeah, 23rd, and yeah, 100 days. We are here now.
Thank you, sir.
I think one of the best word what people keep saying is, I am good. But if somebody asks you, how are you, you may not say, I am great. So that is where we should make a difference. How do we make ourselves great? That's what I keep thinking always. Not that the teachers as a profession, but as a person, how good we are. Then we should say that, yeah, I am great. My guru keeps saying, the South Indians are more conjuice. North India people, if you ask Maje Meche, they will say Balu Ache, they will say happy, either in Bangla or Gujarat. That's how I answer. But in Kerala, if somebody asks you, Engane Ponu, Tamil they say Ipadiye Pograde. Kannada they will say Hokta ide. I mean Andhra people say Jaragata ide. It's like, you are somehow moving. Why do you somehow move? I keep asking them, why can't you finish, end up your life? if it is not that good. Assume you have a nice daughter and you get her married, and after that, when she visits your home, you ask, how is life? Yeah, going on like this. Is that what you want to hear from them? I'm sure it's not that what you want to hear from them. So most important is you must enjoy every moment. Life is not a span of 120 years as per Jataka, or maybe as per statistics, old 60 years. Or that is not life. Life is every moment. That's why I keep saying LIFE, life. Live in full enjoyment. And if you don't enjoy moments are created. Now I mark this day, 2020, December 5th. When Datnip ji asked me, I immediately said yes. Tell me the time. Afternoon I have got some sessions, so morning I have got. Saturday, Sundays are generally too busy. Working days probably I am a professor in a math university here. I am teaching mathematics. So that keeps me almost working days also busy. So I am sure I am addressing to maybe handful of 100 teachers. So that's not 100 teachers for me, because I know the profession teaching is such, when you get into that you have no escape, because you will not get any other job. If you get into some other job, at some point of time in your life you can jump into teaching. But once you get into teaching, you cannot do any other job, because that is supposed to be the most relaxing job for most of the people. Probably teachers may not understand, or you may not agree that unless you experience other life. I have seen the life of a person who is working in a refinery. If you get a chance, you must go and visit. The chemist who is standing there, close his eyes for one moment, finished. He has to look at the parameter every moment. Then supplement the parameter chemistry for making it to work. Otherwise, the refinery will get jammed. So probably teaching profession is where you are given with a chalk and a duster. You do something, immediately you can wipe it off. But no other profession you have that option. So many people take it light. But what I find, and why I am into teaching, leaving the other profession 10 years back. It's exactly 10 years back. I left because I know we are the people who are creating the next future. If I can make a lot of great people, and it's not me alone, I more value teachers. Last visit, I was in many schools in UAE addressing only teachers. And Gulf, especially Kuwait, I remember after meeting a lot of principals, maybe hundreds of principals in a program in Chennai. After that, I was in Gulf throughout most of the schools, teaching only teachers. So when I speak to teachers, I keep saying it is not 100 teachers, it is 100 multiplied by 20 years, multiplied by almost 200 students per year. So you can imagine it lakhs of. But I had direct interaction with probably lakhs of teachers. More than 10 lakhs of students directly with them. The beauty is when they come back to me after a few years. The other day, I had a student from Arunachal Pradesh. I used to keep visiting Arunachal Pradesh with a program called Prajotayat. Enlightenment was the program. Just Premaji was telling 9th and 10th needs orientation. December, January is the time when I used to go to Arunachal Pradesh, Vivekananda Kendra Vidyalayas, VKVs. I collect all they have 37 schools in the northeast. 17 schools have got the 10th class. So I collect all of them. So nearly 1,000 children. They spend 3-4 days with me. And that is to orient them for exams. And one of the students yesterday, day before yesterday, called me. Many students keep calling. So when they call, maybe they will have a dialogue on telephone. That's enough. But some children are so curious. I said, do you like to have a Google Meet with me? So I had a private discussion and I asked what you want. And she said she is into BTech. She knows she is going to spend another 4 years in a college with one single program called BTech. Sir, please tell me how should I study my BTech. See, a student comes back after 4 years with a great aspiration to be an IITian. She couldn't be in IIT. She couldn't be in NIT. She ended up in a normal college. But then I said, don't worry, you are not lost life. You will create something great where you can get back into whatever or maybe higher than what you could have gained by plus 1, plus 2. So that gives a lot of appreciation as a teacher that somebody comes back to me. The practical learning is the session which we wanted. 10 years back, 2010, as I left my government job, I went to Palakkad in a small village, picked up 8th grade children. They are from Malayalam medium. They can't speak. Even English medium students, most of the students don't speak. Most of the teachers also don't speak other than their subject. When it comes to communication, they lag behind. That's true with most of the students also. They write exam very well, but other than subject, if they wanted to write some generic things, they will fail. Think about the Malayalam medium students that from a remote village where parents and teachers say that definitely my child will fail in 10th class, but very hard to fail these days. I keep saying if you write Pambu is snake instead of Pal, both contains Pa, the teachers are supposed to give 50% mark. So that is how the evaluation scheme is. Therefore, everybody is guaranteed with a 50%. Those children, I took them to Goa because I wanted to convert them from Malayalam medium to English medium. Goa is the place you get a lot of visitors from different parts of the world. And the learning is you have to be in the beach, go and interview all the people whom you meet, and by evening you must collect 10 biodatas. So I remember my children go and ask, what is your name, Elizabeth? And that, what is to be asked, I wrote in Malayalam and then asked them to write in Malayalam. What is your name is written in Malayalam. And that is what they ask. Without even, when they practice it, I said recitation is the best method to learn. You keep repeating the same thing, you will learn it. Automatically you will learn. That's how everybody learns. So the first day they were more difficult in dealing with the language. But second day they became okay. Third day they become courageous. It is not that they were right. Pronunciation was not good. Maybe everybody's pronunciation is not good. I remember the UK English is not tallying with American English, and that will not tally with Gulf English, or even in India I speak Tanglish when I am in Telugu speaking people. There is nothing called good, but will you be able to communicate what you want to communicate to your person who is standing, and then are you able to extract informations from him? So when somebody said Elizabeth, the student is asking spelling please, because evening he has to report. See, that's the best method to learn. You should not shy away in asking questions. But what my experience, when I go to different schools, I have seen children don't ask questions, teachers don't ask questions at all, definitely, because they only know how to give questions, how to get answers, that's it. Questions will not come. The quest is not there. The quest is not there, then how do you? So what did I give my children, the 8th class children in the remote village? Have the courage to ask questions. That's it. And then I have thrown a lot of people in front of them. Film stars, poets, advocates, pilots, surgeons, doctors, actors, everybody. And I remember when a structural engineer from IIT Delhi, who was a guest, was pushed in front of him, then he asked me, what do I speak to him, these children? who don't understand even English. I said, don't worry, you stay there. They will ask questions. The question was as normal, what's your name? But second person cannot ask what's your name. There are 90 children. I picked up 45 girls and 45 boys. So what do they ask? The next question, where are you from? And this person said, if I say that I am from Mayur Vihar, will you understand? Then don't worry, the next person will ask next question. Where is Mayur Vihar? See, from your answer, they will make the second question, third question. So keep on asking. You can imagine 90 questions are formed in half an hour. And the information which he shares as an answer is a Pandora box of knowledge which you will never get from anywhere in the world. What is lacking in today's children? They don't ask questions. Teachers ask questions, students give answer. We should stop that business. If your students don't have anything to learn, why do you teach them? That is what is practical learning. That is what I think is to be learned. I remember when I was going to Dammam for a program. From Hyderabad I was flying. It is 3.5 hours flight. The person who was sitting beside me was a 9th class boy from one of the schools in Dammam. I thought it's a great opportunity for me because in that world I am going first time. Saudi Arabia is entirely different from other part of the world. So I was asking lot of questions to him. It's almost 2.5 hours I asked him lot of questions. But in 2.5 hours he had no questions to me. See, imagine a 9th class boy who gets a, let it be my positions and power and knowledge, everything you forget. But an elderly person who is sitting beside you, who is asking a lot of questions, you don't have even a single question to ask, sir, what's your name? Or bhaiya, aapka naam kya? Wo bhi nahi hai. Kuch bhi nahi. Nothing is to be learned. I am sure education is a process where people are making young children by birth, they are all inquisitive. I am sure birth you will see a lot of children keep on asking, idanda, adanda, what is this, what is this, what is that, what is this, what is that. That is what learning is. Every child does it. They will go and grab everything around them. They can just move around. That is what they do. They will grab everything around. They keep asking, what is this, what is this, what is this. And parents keep teaching them. Many times, repeatedly, they keep giving answer. But then, after some time, they stop asking because they are into the so-called framework of education. That's what I changed. You don't have to teach. I remember I am from a remote village, 2017, 17, I conducted a program. There in my village, if one child gets, it's a state syllabus, one child gets A+, that's a great enjoyment. The flux will come in the whole village. And there was only one A+ in 2016. 2017, I decided, that's where I conduct my camp called Nanam. J-N-A-A-N-A-M. That's my house. Janaki is my mother's name. Narayan is my father's name. Janaki, Narayanan, mentoring is Nanam. Then I thought I should help my children where I studied my 10th class. I took children from there and then I asked whoever want to learn can come and stay with me. After the schools, you come and stay with me. I will provide you free dinner. Study as much as you can. Sleep where I have a place where maybe 50 children can sleep. That's my house. But then these days in 2017, I was teaching them. In 1 year, we could produce nearly 20 A+. So from 1 A+ to 20 A+ with few days of classes, 1 month class, that's it, great. I remember when I shared this experience in one of the schools in Kuttipuram. They decided to send the 25 children. They were sure that their 2-3 children will get A+. All the 25 came to my house, stayed with me for 10 days. And that year they got 23 A+. Only 2 children did not get. So I am not talking about getting A+. If the children are taught how to learn, nobody need to teach them actually. They will learn themselves. I remember in my house when the BTech children were there. My camp is such, maybe young children to elderly children will be there together. The other day I spoke to one of the students who came from Abu Dhabi. The Philip, he was a small boy. His sister wanted to attend. But this boy, after spending 2 hours, he said, no, I don't want to go. So he also stayed there. He was only in 4th grade or so. The other day we had a dialogue. Everything what I speak, generally I post it onto my YouTube. You can see discussion with Philip. The educational counseling with a software attitude checking decided that he cannot study mathematics. And he was suggested to take commerce. Then I was asking Philip, do you think commerce has got mathematics? No sir, commerce have no mathematics. I said, finished. Because the software doesn't tell. Because in each country, the streams and the selection process can be entirely different. But in India, you cannot do BCom, or probably BCom you can do it. But then when you want to go to MBA without mathematics, you cannot. You cannot become a doctor without mathematics and statistics. I remember I went to one of the medical colleges where MBBS was over. They joined for masters. There were 25 children for the master's program. I cannot say children, they are doctors, senior doctors. They are all MD, MS students. After a talk of mine, then they came to me and said, sir, one day we want you as a teacher for mathematics. Because statistics is one of the paper, research methodology, full of statistics. So, what subject you like, what subject you don't like cannot be decided by the attitude. I am telling this because it all depends on the teachers. That's what I told Philip. If you don't like mathematics, tell me. Spend a half day with me. I will make you to love mathematics. It's as simple as that. I don't say somebody is called a cook when they cook only dosha and chutney. Say. They must be able to cook everything. Different variety of food. Then only he is a good cook. A good student is one who can learn most of the variety of subjects. And I'm sure all teachers, when they ask what is your subject, they will say only very specific. You ask me what is my subject, I did PhD in mathematics, but my subject is not mathematics. Because when I become space scientist, I found that I have to do remote sensing. The satellite will take picture and I'm supposed to make maps of the ground. What is mapping? Mapping is geography. Then I found I have to read my 9th class, 10th class, 11th and 12th geography. And then I became a strategy analyst in the cabinet secretariat. I was supposed to tell why this country is disturbance to us, why this country is not disturbance to us. Then I have to learn history. See, you think that you are a mathematician, you don't require social science, it will come back to us. That's a profession which we are into. And that is why our education system gives every subject up to 10th class. So that later when you read, you can recollect, you can understand, you can learn everything. So the first thing what all teachers must understand is we are not training. The word itself is wrong. Training should not be there. That's why I am using that word. We are not for training students for an examination. Education is not examination and training them for that. That concept should go. Yeah, this portion is important. A lot of questions will come. You should learn. So what is the other? Why, when writing the textbook like experts, why did they put that in the syllabus? How can you have the first chapter you don't recur because no questions come? I went to one of those schools in Madhya Pradesh. They don't teach 9th class at all. After 8th class, directly to 10th class. Because 10th class, 2 years they can study. Good marks they will get. But what happens? You are building a building without a base. The syllabus is created such, the chapters are kept in such a fashion, the first chapter becomes a base for second chapter or third or fourth chapter. You cannot skip anything. The word skipping, importance, marks, grade, everything has to go. If that doesn't go, what will happen? You will forget your basics. That's why when engineers came to my house, I asked them, we will have a pulley where we will pull and then you can lift yourself. My entrance at the gate itself, I made a great pulley. That is a symbol. The science experiment is as you enter inside my house. You have to pull yourself. It's like a lift. Which I gave some pulleys and rope for the BTech students to make it. They couldn't. They forgot their basic physics which they learned in 6th class. It should not happen. I think everything what we learn should be within us. And then I brought my high school science teacher for the camp. Then he started explaining electronics. What electronics? Electronics engineers are learning from a old, he is 75-year-old teacher, retired, and then he is doing all this now science in his house. He makes LED lamp by himself. He's a science teacher. He's an experimental person. That is where I learned. That's where, see, one teacher is good enough. He never, and when I told him, sir, you never taught me in my classroom. And I said, how do you know me? See, we had a lot of teachers and students don't interact with the teachers those days. But still, I was looking at him and wondering, will I be able to learn something from him? So, though I am sitting in some class, I used to see, he used to take his students out and then take a convex lens and he will keep his cigar and then put it there and then burn it and then he will puff. He said, this is how, the focus, the light, sunlight can focus, he can burn your cigarette. He used to show that. No exaggeration. This is what I have seen. I remember he was showing, and this I keep taking for small scales, 1 feet, 1 feet, 1 feet. Make a rectangle like this. I am sure it's very simple to make a rectangle like this. No, square like this, because 1 feet equal. This is what I did. I said rectangle. I want some teachers to say, sir, it's not rectangle, it is square. Okay, then what is the perimeter? Very simple, 4 feet. You don't have to teach everybody the perimeter of a square is 4 feet. If one side is, you can show this, that's it. If you show once, that's enough. And the perimeter is not same for a circle and a square. I just make a circle out of it. Just tilt it, it becomes a circle. The perimeter is not same because you can pass through this, but when it is a square, you cannot pass through this. The formulas are different. It is not 4 feet when you make a circle out of it. Simple experiment. But I don't know how many maths teachers and physics teachers understand this. It's very simple. You don't require no money. I remember last time when I was teaching teachers, I took this to Dubai and then left it in my nephew's house. It's only how much? 20 rupees into 80 rupees, 84 rupees. 4 screws, that's it. 84 rupees you can show experiment. I think every teacher should have this passion. If this passion is there, it becomes so simple. I remember the BTech, MBA senior students, I took them to the science park here to show them what is there around. And I was asking each one, what is the principle behind it? A BTech electrical engineering, I gave a screwdriver and asked them, open my switch box. You'll say, no sir, I never opened it. You can become a BTech electrical engineering without opening a switch box also. So it's not in the lower grade, it's in the higher grade also it is same. I think things should change. That is what the new education policy is for. If you understand the crux, why we started this. We did a lot of such experiments. The Regional Institute of Education started 4-year B.Ed program, combined with graduation. Now that has become a compulsory thing. Similarly, vocational schools we started. The 10th class can be with vocational training parallelly. We had ITI with parallel +2 program from the open school to give them equivalent to a +2 with a diploma admission possibility. Why this is required? Because these experiments were conducted. Don't think that national education policy is something new from a box just like that. Magic box is not there. It was experimented. I remember, if you are really interested in the philosophy of education on new education policy, you must listen to my lecture which I gave in Kottayam CMS College. Soon after the NEP there was I said there is nothing new, everything is old. If you listen to Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan's first talk on education, much before the UGC came into, he was one of the greatest educationalists which we had. And he gave a beautiful speech in one of the, no, when he was invited into Kerala University, one of the program. That exactly is what is national education policy today. It is not, teachers are not to teach you maths, physics, science. Sarva Kalashala. Everything has to be there inside that. But today we have university for agriculture separate. The new education policy says no specialization in the universities. People can specialize, but why university has to specialize? So there are not going to be medical university, technology university, veterinary university. We divided and made a lot of universities. No, that is not going to be there now. It's all going to be one. Like whatever you are doing in your childhood, same thing you must be able to continue until your end of your life to learn everything from everywhere. Today that is not possible. So it became so flexible. So there is a great responsibility in teachers who are all specialized. Now you say, I am only a social science teacher, I don't understand mathematics. That's why in Alappuzha I have to train geography teachers. All the CBSE geography teachers, I took them together and then asked them, you cannot be a geography teacher if you don't understand mathematics. Geography is full of mathematics. You can do it. But at least think when you say between two longitudinal lines, the difference of time is 4 minutes. Ask a question, why? If you are not able to ask that question, your students are not asking, you are a stupid teacher and students are made by you as stupid. Why two longitude? The difference between India and the Gulf, the time difference is 1.5 hours. Why? Why that difference of 1.5? You must be able to divide 360 degree. That is the circumference. Circumference is divided by the 24 hours. Therefore, the 360 divided by 24 hours. Therefore, you will get exactly the longitude you take, find the difference, that will equivalent to 1.5 hours. That when your student understands, they understand geography, they understand, they are students. Otherwise, they are just machines. That is what is exactly required. So this is what is practical learning. Practical learning is not with making something in science, no. Now I am teaching mathematics in a university, but I don't use any PowerPoint, no board, only word. Let students understand, but I make sure that they will write in their notebook. And randomly I'll ask them, take a picture of your notebook and send it to me. My words have to be converted into figures and facts by them. I'm sure all the teachers who are listening to me must have a pen and paper with them. I have a pen and paper. Without that, I never attend a program. If you are only nodding your head, and when I ask questions at the end of the session, you will nod head like this. The national education policy is not for the schools like you who are running international, great, beautiful schools. No. Understand, national education policy is the gross enrollment ratio in most of the parts in the country. If 100 children join for grade 1, only 75 children reach 10th grade. It is not because they fail. Because of social, cultural, economic conditions. So we want to retain. How do we retain? You go out whenever you want. You come and join whenever you want. So it is made flexible. And you don't have to make everybody compulsory. You have to go up to 10th. Then only you can write a 10th exam. Not required. You skip, come back and join. So it's a life learning process. Learn throughout your life. There is no pedagogy now. There may be andragogy. Andragogy is when, as an elderly person, when you learn, is called andragogy. So andragogy is what is required. I have a book on education. That book is called Adaptive Learning. So how do you make this? I wrote in 2005 through e-web and net learning, adaptive learning through internet. And 2020 also people are not probably using what I wrote those days, 15 years back. So I am sure next generation learning will be anywhere at any time. When I come to Gulf, many people ask me, sir, my English has to be improved. How do I do that? What are you doing? I am a taxi driver. You know, probably in Gulf I have got maximum number of each Emirates by Emirates I have got nearly 5,000 numbers stored. Most of them listen to me on radio and they will, sir, how should I learn this? And I will tell them the technique of learning English. How do you make it better? So they are all people who must have dropped out before 10th. That is why I said this, the 100 will become 75. And in 12th class, what will happen? It will become 50. So 100 children who joined in first class is not joining in 12th class. It becomes 50. And in colleges, it becomes 20. Post graduation, it becomes 5. We wanted this system to change, allow people to join whenever they want, create universities in every district. That is the aim of the new government policy. We have got in a city like Hyderabad, we have got 20 universities. But you just go to the next district, there are no universities at all. They will have to come to city. Change. Education is going to be there throughout the country, equally distributed. That is the major higher education change. So what is the responsibility of the teachers today now? Now when I gave a talk in radio, maybe NTV in Gulf or some radio programs, maximum radio programs I gave in Gulf only, because they are the people who listen to radio. Immediately somebody will ask, sir, what should I learn to get a job? I said, stop studying, you will get a job immediately. To get a job, you don't have to study at all. So learning for education is more important than learning for a job. Education is not job. We have to redefine that. Use all the technology. I remember after PhD, when I became a space scientist, I learned graphics, the 3D designing. I went to Bombay to learn from Hyderabad, because Hyderabad was not having that. 1990. And my teacher was a physics BSc dropped out. But he was a specialist in the graphical design. That's good enough. You be specialized in something. That is skill. What is lacking today? We don't have. Yesterday I was seeing the movie, old Tamil movie, 24. Going back in time. That is what the movie is. You think that is created by a scientist? That movie script is written by a scientist? No. And it contains more science than any scientist will not understand. I will tell you. You will have to stop, pause, look at it, learn, and then refer, get back to the movie if you really wanted to understand, if you don't understand the science of time. But that is the creativity of a writer. So writer is more scientist than a scientist themselves. In Bharatiya Shastram, we had this fortune. All the saints were writers, all the writers were scientists. That's our tradition, because there was no compartmentalization. Everybody was not everything. And people traveled across. Can you imagine? Lord Krishna traveled from his state to some other state for education. And in that class, it was not an international school where poor people were not admitted, only rich fellows. He had kuchela also. Kuchela. Chela means dress. Kuchela means bad dress. I'm sure Krishna was the kingly person, but then he had a classmate who was a poor person also. See, that is what is life. They interact very closely. That is learning life. I remember one of the boy from Dubai came to me for the camp were used to conduct in Nanam at my native place. Then after 3 days, he said, my dress is over. I said, dress is over? What is that? Yeah, because his 10 days camp, his mother gave 10 different packets. Each day, which dress is to be. He has to open the dress and it's also written Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday by date. And that packet he has to use, he has to wear. And after use, put it back in the packet and keep it in the bag. That's what he was told. Beautiful, good fellow. But he never knew that in my home, when they come, I will make them to take bath 3 times per day. Because heavy rain. What do? It is not a classroom learning. I will take them for a trekking. When the trekking is done, they come drenched. Immediately I will give a social skill program. They will have to go and interact with the people. By the time they get back, the whole dress is again drenched. You know what this boy did? As it is stuffed inside the polythene bag and then kept it in his bag. After 3 days, he is not changing dress at all. I asked him, why are you not changing? Sir, dress is over. Then I digged out his bag and then asked him, squeeze it and then dry it. He never did this job of squeezing water from his towel in his life, because he removes everything, his mother puts it into washing machine, dryer, it comes ironed, and then somebody dresses up him. That's how he has been. And he's a 9th class boy. Is it life? Is it learning? Is it education? Even if he becomes a scientist, he is a useless fellow. I think people have to be turned into practical life learning sessions. There are responsibilities by the parents, but if they are not doing, I'm sure it has to be done. And somebody says, no, I have no time. I'm so busy because I have got exam after 2 days. 2 days exam, do you skip your breakfast or what? There are no time. We should have time for everything. If somebody says I am too busy for a job which needs only 2 minutes, then actually it is not busy, it's lazy. And if it is 1 hour, I am sure in 2 days you must be able to adjust the time. And nobody in this world is that busy as I keep saying somebody is too busy. Are you the Prime Minister of India? He also finds time for everything. We don't have time to eat also. See, the first learning should be how to eat peacefully, no? That is must. With the full concentration, are you able to chew the solid food? Or drink the solid food and chew the water. That's what people say. In the yogic terms, it is said, drink the solid food and chew water. Do you have time for that? That is what is required. Otherwise, if you don't know how to physically maintain yourself, emotionally controlled, intellectually make you sharper, socially be active, talk to people, ask questions, relate with your life, and learn every subject under the globe. That is what is education. That is what is the holistic education with the national education policy also says, and that is nothing new because it is traditionally what we had. But what is more important? We had a system, Navodaya Vidyalaya pattern. The whole teachers and students, everybody live together. Minimum 30 acres of land is required because a lot of activities should happen. It should contain all the facilities of games, sports, science experiments. But then that is not there throughout the country. When you go to Himachal Pradesh and Arunachal Pradesh and such remote places, we will see one science van runs through different schools. One biology van will go because that will stay in 1 week. That is the time when they can use it. There are a lot of people who don't have these facilities. But when you have it and you are part of that system, are you really using it? That's a question. I had the science teacher who used to not sit in the science lab only. He will sit. He will never sit in his classroom. He will ask students, come here, I will teach you here only. I keep asking, in this digital world, there is nothing in the classroom. Even not in the computer. We are only creating. We are taking the universe into your classroom. Whole education is taken into the classroom by the teachers and the syllabus and the students. That's it. You look 360 degree around, get all the knowledge around you and combine all of them and then put them together. For what purpose? There are only 2 types of education. One is Savidya. That is life learning. And second one is learning for life. Both are required. One is learning life. Second one is learning for life. Learning for life is what the certificates and education system is giving. And that has to be vocational. Otherwise, there is a big gap. If you look at the developed countries in the world, USA, China is also developed today. UK, Germany, all of them. South Korea is one of the best. The Korea and Germany are one of the best. They all stand 60% and above. You know, India's vocational ability, the skill ability is 5%. See the gap, 5% to 50%. USA is 50%, approximately 50%. Because everybody does their job. We don't do. Even if we have a small garden to work, we call a gardener. Because we don't know how to garden our own garden. To water also we need somebody else. We don't know how to water. Have you seen Mahatma Gandhi's life? You understand every great personality worked with their hands. Either cooking or gardening or doing some weaving or some job they do. So use hands. That is practical world. That is practical life. And if you don't have that, you are never going to be smart. There are only two sets of students. The smart students who are lazy. The smart students who are lazy. And there are very ignorant students who are very smart. You understood the difference? There are lazy and smart in what? Not because of themselves. Their parents were smart. That means they are rich. The rich lazy students, probably I should call them like that. The rich lazy students you have, and you have got smart ignorant failure students. If you club them together, it is 20%. It's very difficult to cross them. But then the rest of the 60% students or 80% students are in your hands, and you can make a lot of difference in them if the teachers are smart. Otherwise, the other students can also get into your rail by just motivating them. The rest of the students don't require any motivation. That's it. See, I keep posting lot of videos every day into I've got a small group of learners, and there are many teachers in that. So I remember today I posted what I spoke few years back, same date, that's what I do. So December 5th, 2016, I spoke on enjoy, study and exam. That's a small video clip on my YouTube, which I posted because 2016, December 5th. 20 points to students, 30 points to students, 20 points to parents and teachers. There is a blog. When somebody asked a doubt, this I referred and then made a small video and then posted. Today when I posted immediately, one of the teacher, you know what is that? I know one student who really require this because she is finding problem in learning. See, if one student tell the problem, then only you know. There may be another 100 students under her. They may not be telling them, no. So how do you identify them? That is the trick which you have to use in your classroom. At the end of this session, I am going to give a Google form. Let me see how many teachers got the grip what I am conveying to you. If you get at least a few points, you are good. That's how I test. Or maybe when I stop talking, any point I can stop talking. Any number of hours also I can speak like this. So assume that I stop at 12:30 Indian time. That means 1 hour is over. And I open it for questions. If no questions, then I rate. Yeah, WoodLem school is a useless, lame school. I don't know the meaning of lame is what? Your school name is WoodLem school, right? What is the meaning of lame? Okay, don't tell. Don't tell. Wait. Don't tell. Anybody should not tell this. The smart teachers, actually what do they do is they learn. They always, a student or a teacher must be good only when they take note and make note. Two things. That's practical learning. Learning itself, you can be a practical learner by taking notes and making notes at the end. Yeah, this is what I learned. Or maybe looking at it, writing it down, you think, yeah, I don't know this. Let me ask this question. That's what happens. So your classroom can be made into a actual, though I am lecturing, I am not lecturing because this is not words. This is like a discovery. I am making you to think. If I am only giving data, not giving chance for you to analyze, diagnose, interpret, understand, judge, criticize, evaluate, compare, then this just becomes words. If I am making that you to think, then maybe in the 20% of the lecture will add 40% of the thought process. If that itself is good enough. Because you have a lot of things to think. Yeah, he told some percentage. Because I am giving facts and figures. You must compare. How is it? How it will improve? That thought should come. That discovery mentality should come. I am sure the discovery mentality I can check only tomorrow when If I meet you again, I will ask a lot of questions from this, or I expect you to ask a lot of questions around this. Then the students will become independent learners. That's why we say Acharyat Padamadate. The teachers can give you 125%, 1/4 knowledge. Padam Shishya Somedhaya. The students will learn 25% by themselves. Padam Sa Brahmacharibhya. I am sure you will meet a lot of people around you. Brahmacharis. What is Brahmachari? The Brahman is moving in that direction. What is Brahman? Creativity. Brahma is the god of creation. Therefore, Brahma is the creativity god, and which is in you. Hridaya Guhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram. Inside you, there is a Brahma who makes you to think. A researcher is there inside you. That can be from KG to PG, no problem, no difference. When a KG teacher asks me, I'll tell you where you can use your creativity. When you use that at whatever level, then you can be a different teacher, different student by yourself. Then your students have got that ability, they will become creators. They will start thinking, creative thinking will come. When creative thinking will come, Brahma is inside you, Saraswati will come to your tongue. Because Saraswati is Brahma's wife. Definitely Brahma is inside, Saraswati will come to tongue. And you will get lot of action. Vishnu will come to you. And you will get lot of money. Lakshmi will come behind. And then you can peacefully take meditation. That is Shiva. Provided you are energetic. This is wholesome life. That you should understand. So we have very flexible system. The 5+3+3+4, the new education policy which is giving, is a fantastic time. You have to not promote students from the 5 system to 3rd system, the next compartment. Don't push them to the next compartment. Don't discharge them from your hospital where you are the doctor. You identify there is a maths problem. It's like a parameter in your blood, there is some lacuna. You treat them. Specify all the parameters are perfect, correct. Then only pass them to the next bunch. So up to 5th, the 5 years of education from grade, the age 3 to 8th, grade 8. If they study well, I am sure the base is perfect. Don't pass them. Yeah, you are good. Go to next class. And then the next class teacher will tell they did not learn anything in the childhood. That's why they are troubling in the class. Or they have trouble in the class. When they have trouble in the class, they trouble the teachers also. And they trouble at home. So we create a lot of nuisance like this. That has to be ended. That will happen only when you make sure you are not a teacher, you are a doctor. Conducting test, examination and test is done by doctors and teachers. In doctors and teachers, when they conduct a test, if there is some parameter less, you don't just pass them. Treat them, make them 100% perfect, healthier, then only discharge from the hospital. Similarly, discharge from your classroom to the upper class only when they find fit. That is what is essential. I think I can go on and on like this, but exactly 1 hour is over the time we started. We will pick it up and then maybe expand based on the questions which you have. Premaji and Ratndeep, that is better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Well said, sir.
Yeah.